to episode 2, Cuppa Tea or Cuppa with the candidates, sitting down with candidates in the lead up to General Election 2020. I'm joined now by National Party List MP based in Te Atatu, Mr. Alfred Ngaro, who will be contesting the Te Atatu electorate at the upcoming elections. Kia ora ana.
Kia ora ana, talofalava.
Yes.
Whakalofalahi atu. I won't go through all of them because you normally do all 12 of them. So, but because te wiki o te reo Māori, kia ora.
Kia ora indeed. Now, your bio says that you are a qualified electrician, Alfred. I want to start with something really serious. Do you have your accreditation here? I just want to make sure that...
Well, I have passed, yes, and I've got all my qualifications.
Okay, then.
But I don't have what they call a practicing licence.
Okay.
So every year you've got to have what they call a practicing licence.
Right.
But Brian, if you still want me to go and fix your kettle at home, I'm sure that I can do that.
Thank you. One of your favourite memories growing up?
Being in Ponsonby, I was in John Street, so 3-bedroom house. Match lighting, and it's a high stud, about 3.2 metre stud. There's no insulation at all. There would have been 12 of us in there. No running hot water, so we had to boil the water, outside toilet. But we never felt poor. And every day we got up, it was a day in which we could go out and explore. My mum was a cleaner, my dad was a labourer, and everyone just worked. There was just a sense of expectation and opportunity.
Looking back over the years since you've been in Parliament since 2011, but even before that, family, faith, community, very big pillars of your life. Can you touch on that a bit?
Yeah, well, those are the three things. It's our faith, our family, and our future. And that's always been, I suppose, the values that I grew up with. Our faith is important to us because it allows us to remember where we come from, that we put things into perspective. It teaches us a set of values that are really important: love, acceptance, forgiveness. Those things are critically important to us. It's more than just what we pray. And I remember our old people, my grandmother saying, always remember, religion is what you do for a time and in a place. But our spirituality, our faith, is what we live every day. When you get up, the ability to take a breath and breathe, you thank God. Why? Because today I can go out and I can live.
Your beloved Te Atatu, the big issues that you see that you would like to address if you're successful come election day 2020, Alfred?
Yeah, so the thing about the West is it's the home of the pioneers. It didn't matter you're Māori, Pākehā, Pacific, Croatian, Dalmatian, Dutch, Asian. Everyone that's there has got a history and a heritage, a story to tell about pioneering. And in other words, you work hard, you work smart, you try to get yourself ahead and to do well for you and your family and for your community as well. And so for me, I think it's ensuring that we continue that pioneering spirit that's in there. So practical things, for instance, has to do with our hospital. At the moment, Waitakere Hospital is a cottage hospital servicing the population the size of Wellington. So that's the catchment area, which includes Te Atatu as well. And we don't have those services that are necessary, clinical services, acute services around specialty and so forth. So at the moment we have 230 beds. Actually, we need another 150 beds to offer a proper service. So simple thing, build a bigger, better hospital. The second thing is around transport. So we have about 38,000 people actually just on the Te Atatu interchange that are travelling every day, every morning in and out. And at the moment we've got a lot of congestion. Now it's great, we've built the causeway, we've lengthened that, we've got the Waterview Tunnel as well, so that's made things a lot easier. Travel times are now less by 25 minutes, but what we need is a busway, a bit like what they got on the North Shore. So one thing that we've committed to, and we've made an announcement about that, is that for Te Atatu and along the Western Corridor, we're going to have a busway as well. So those things are critical. The last one is just around education. We know that education is critically important. So for me, it's education that, like they say, from the womb to the tomb. In other words, their pathway from early childhood education, or in Pacifica's case, aonga mata or punanga reo. So early childhood is really important. And then as you go on to that, things like literacy and numeracy around primary school, intermediate, and then on to high school, and then tertiary training. So it's around ensuring that the schools are working well together. One of the things that's really important is around special needs. So that's an area that I'm championing, making sure that we have supports for those for issues around speech language therapists, for instance, resource teachers of learning and behaviour. Those are specialist areas that are critical for the needs of our education pathway for our children and young people.
You had a debate on TVNZ with the leader of the ACT Party, David Seymour, regarding the referendum and of course making your views very strong in terms of especially the Life Choice Act. Something interesting I heard you say, which I thought, man, was quite astounding. 35,000 submissions and 90.6% of the submitters were against. Are you able to sum up, maybe in a nutshell, just your thoughts? And I know this is something that you're very passionate on with regards to this particular referendum, Alfred.
So the end of life choice bill, throughout the process of 18 months, 39,000 submissions, 90.6 who opposed. 1,700 doctors, palliative care specialists and nurses all signed an open letter to say that this was wrong. Why? Because it was medically unsafe. In other words, they felt the process and the procedures were not going to be good for patients. Over 300 QC lawyers came forward and said this is ethically unsafe. Coercion is difficult to be able to interpret. In other words, somebody being pressurised. In New Zealand alone, elders abuse, we have over 2,000 recorded cases of elder abuse in New Zealand. So how can you ensure that people make the decision for the right reason? But when I want to sum this up, Brian, as simple as this. What this bill will do, it will sanction within New Zealand the killing of New Zealand citizens. We don't have the death penalty. We got rid of it a long time ago. The reasons why? Because they got it wrong. And when you get it wrong, one wrongful death is one death too many. And now we're sending a message into our society that assisted suicide is okay. Suicide prevention is something we're struggling with. We have one of the highest rates, if not the highest rates, of teen and youth suicide in the whole world. And we can't even get that right. What message does this send to the country when we say, on one hand, certain types of suicide is okay, but another type of suicide is not? You know, I think that's a wrong message. What we need is better palliative care. What we need is better support youth and care services that are there. It comes back down to one simple thing, the family unit. And often the breakdown in the family unit, where we can help people to care for their children and for their loved ones around them, that's what will make the difference. This bill is unsafe, is uncaring, is unkind, and more importantly, sends a very bad message. And what we will do if it gets voted through, we will now set precedent in law where you can actually take the life and other people can take their lives legally.
I'll leave it there. But thank you for your time today. Alfred Ngaro, National List MP based in Te Atatu. Thank you so much for your time this morning, brother. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
Mei take mata. Kia manuia.